Good evening. Welcome to our live post podcast on reimagining the warehouse for the next decade. Today, we embark on an exciting journey into the future of warehousing, the world where innovation, automation, and artificial intelligence are transforming not just the operations, but also very definition of efficiency, scalability, and business success. Warehousing is no longer just about storage. It's about backbone of seamless supply chain and enabler of lightning fast deliveries. And the key to staying competitive in a rapidly evolving market. As we reimagine where warehousing will look like over the next 10 years, we will uncover trends, challenges, breakthroughs that will define the critical industry. To help me to navigate this transformation, we are privileged to have two extraordinary panelists, leaders in their field, who brings wealth of expertise and visionary insights. We have Mr. Sachin Daware, a, a dynamic leader. Welcome, Sachin.
Hello.
Dynamic
Thank
leader
you.
in warehousing automation with more than 2 decades of experience in sales and business strategy and operations excellence. An accomplished mechanical engineer from Pune University, Sachin has led teams both in multinational corporations and Indian automation giants like Dafuku, Craftsman, Bastian, Reflex, and Nilkamal. Sachin applies his deep expertise into AI-driven automation and the best practices to help businesses future-proof their warehousing operations. Welcome, Sachin.
Thank you so much.
Next,
Thank you, Amit.
thank you. Next one on our panel is Mr. Vibhur Mittal, a passionate product management and uh, solution professional with over 18 years of industry experience, leading, including nearly 8 years in specialized supply chain automation. Vibhur is currently with Grey Orange, where he empowers retailers and 3PL to embrace warehousing automation, driving efficiency and scalability. His insights into cutting edge technology and strategic solutions have made him a trusted voice in the industry. Welcome, Vibhur.
Thank you, Amit.
So I think we really have a great panelist today, and we are lucky to have you guys on our episode number 5 of reimagining the warehousing in next decade. Let me jump on to the overall scenario of the industry. Uh, what with automation driving unprecedented changes, how do you think the concept of warehousing itself will evolve over next decade? Will you see the rise in virtual warehouses or entirely decentralized models? This question is to Sachin. Sachin, can you just throw a light on overall what is the scenario at the moment in the warehousing space?
Sure. Thank you, Amit. Thank you. So it's interesting to attend this platform because next decade is going to be a very happening decade for all of warehouse automation business. And surely I can assure you that warehousing automation is going to change drastically. So let me divide and give a brief idea what happened in last 2 decades. We start with 2000 to 2014, where Indian customers, or we can say the customer who have the growth of business opportunity, have changed their traditional ways of storage and material handling to material handling automation, like forklifts, you can say, or you can say the high-rise racks, the reach trucks, and other things. They also included some sort of conveying, some sort of scanning mechanism, and other thing. So we also witnessed some of the good customers from paint industry, tire industry, or FMCG industry have tried their best to enter into warehouse automation,
Right.
and that was limited to some extents. But if we start from 2015 to 2024, that decade was impressive. And many of the new automation technologies have been introduced in the market, like SRS solution, then pick to light solution, for example, goods to person solution, mini loads, then sort of some kind of picking mechanisms have been introduced. And we have witnessed in this last decade that many of the new sectors and new industry have adopted these kind of technologies. But things are not limited to these kind of technologies. There are much more beautiful solutions available in the market. So starting with 2025, I believe that warehousing automation will be the major adoption technologies in the Indian market or worldwide. So coming to the main points, why next decade will be important. So there will be major factors like artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, and machine learnings are taking place in the warehousing automation. And we must have seen many kinds of videos or many demonstrations in different platform, but that is going to come in the reality. And we can say that there will be major trends going to shape up the Indian market or warehousing automation sector. Like we can say that hyper automation is going to happen in the warehousing sector. Like hyper automation means the company will not only think for a specific warehouse automation, they will think beyond certain challenges. They will go with storage automation, they will go with material handling automation, they will go with the data driven decision making automation. And majorly you can see there will be a rise of virtual warehouses in the industry, and that will happen due to AI, and IoT is going to important place in the warehousing automation sector. So the next factor will be focus on sustainability, where customer will think that how can I reduce the energy, how can I save the energy, then how can I improve the efficiencies. And there are, as we can see, there are lots of customer demands, and quality things are going to happen, competitiveness is increasing. So lots of things are happening in warehousing automation sector. The next thing, what is going to happen will be the warehouse as a service model, VAS model, where I can give example like Google Logistics platform will play an important role. There are many platforms, of course, and customer will think that I should gather all the data available from market, and I should evaluate it, and I should analyze and use that for giving the better services and better approaches in the market. So coming to various kinds of WMS, which is not a standalone WMS now, which is now cloud-based or having a vast model, will give the real inputs, real trends, real patterns from markets. It will collect the real information from various sources. It will gather at a data center, and that data will be utilized for improving the productivity, improving the solutions, as well as reaching to the deeper market where customer have not reached or not tried earlier. So the next point is that what is the decentralized warehousing, where it will be a reality? Yeah, of course, decentralized warehousing will be a reality in future. In today's example, we can see that a 10 minutes delivery by various players like Zepto, Big Basket, Blinkit, or other players, Swiggy and other players. How this is happening? Because they are using the latest trends and technologies in their software models, and we can get the delivery by adopting this kind of technology and decentralized warehousing. There are challenges, definitely there are big challenges, but we are going to solve that, and definitely the customer, end customer like us, will get benefit of that. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Sachin. I think you have put it in a very nice way, giving a complete summary of how warehousing space has evolved over last 10 years and how is it going to look like in future. I think
Yeah.
let me throw this question to Vibhur. Vibhur, what do you think? How future warehouses will look like?
Um, I mean, yeah, I totally agree with Sachin over here. And, just to add to his insights, not just the current decade, but ever since we have seen, post-COVID scenario, all our customers are looking at, and the retailers are looking at warehousing evolution, which is more flexible, intelligent, and customer centric. In this era of 10 minutes, 15 minutes delivery, same days delivery, we are looking at growth of the thing. And with a limited land available, that means the efficiency of the warehouses definitely needs to improve and to serve those people. Now, with this, I believe there's a lot of AMRs in the market, especially in different areas of how they are helping the current physical infrastructure to move around and improvise their like there are AMRs for forward picking area, which helps you pick faster, reduce the walking time of the associates, making it a much more cleaner and ergonomic work environment. Then you have autonomous vehicles which delivers goods from point to point within the warehouses, releasing a lot of pressure on the people and a lot of in-house accidents. And then you have a different sortation mechanism where you can use for order consolidations and for the dispatch. So these are the things happening within the warehouses. With again, the over goal is the flexibility, because we have seen the surge of e-commerce in during the COVID times, and we have had customers who have adopted these technologies beforehand, was actually able to convert their own retail distributions into like direct to stores distribution into more e-commerce distributions. So that's where they've been doing. Now coming back to what does the future looks like from here.
Yeah.
I think it's geography dependent. A lot of needs to be geography dependent, because if you talk about West, the distances are the critical pieces. Whereas in India, you have more population density and concentrations. So if I look at the overall piece, we and having a very efficient supply chain network, we're looking at more virtual warehouses to come into picture and rise to prominence. Now, what are virtual warehouses? Virtual warehouses is not like a warehouses in the air or not happening. It's basically connecting all your dots in the network and bringing the goodness of artificial intelligence data analysis, identifying what inventory is where. I mean, tracking the inventory. Even there are systems today which can track inventory in the transit, so that from where you can deliver the fastest to the customer. That's the over goal that we are looking at. Now that is where we're looking at the prominence and the more and more customer adopting to this, from stores, connecting their stores to their freight management, to their motherships, and to the manufacturing lines as well. So all these things are come together, bringing up prominence of the virtual warehouses. But at the same time, yes, decentralized warehouses is makes an important with a lot of data driven uh, tools and systems, where we can actually help what works where. Like in some areas you would find probably the health goods are working faster or moving faster, versus placement of more edibles, or you know how do I say, more special grocery items that moves faster. So those are really the predictive analysis. You place the goods near, so that you can easily deliver faster and achieve the goals. So that is how I see the warehousing, with a lot of these AGVs helping people getting their work done faster and with much more accuracy.
No,
Amit, here
absolutely.
I
I
want
think
to add. one more
Yeah,
point I
Sachin.
want to add here, Amit. Uh, there will be two types of classifications for warehouse automation users. One will be the e-commerce and quick commerce industry, and the second will be
Yeah,
the other industries who are not into quick commerce or e-commerce. Like, for example, FMCG and food industry, for example, or renewable energy, for example, the tire, automotive industry, they are not into e-commerce or quick commerce.
correct.
But
Yeah.
the quick commerce
So they
industry,
have different
like,
solutions.
yes, there will be different solutions. Of course, this kind of industry where quick commerce and e-commerce will require different kind of technology and extremely high-end technologies. They need to take the advancement, and they need to take review of their technologies regularly. Without which
Absolutely.
the competition is increasing, and they may get some kind of setback. But in the other terms, like the non-quick commerce industry, they have limited options, and they may not go in detailed AI-based technology or IoT-based technology. That is my opinion.
Okay. I think thank you so much. I think for summarizing everything from decentralized warehouse and explaining what is actually virtual warehouse, because somebody will think virtual warehouse is warehouse in the cloud. So that is
Hmm.
not actually the reality. It's basically connecting the dots, as Vibhur has mentioned,
Yes.
together wherever the goods are, be it a truck or a logistic or a different warehouses. Everything is connected, and what is the fastest way that the goods can be delivered to the customer is the solution people are going towards. Let me actually explain some more advancement that has happened in the industry. Like autonomous mobile robots are being taken into quick commerce, wherein the 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 a packet is delivered. The packet comes to the operator through the AGVs, and it is been picked from there and kept in the packing area before it is actually and the entire batch is again taken back to the main storage area. So autonomous mobile robots are there. There are ASRS system wherein it's a very compact aisle with automatic storage and retrieval of the material in the warehouse. There are many different ways this has been designed, and depending on throughput, the height can go up to 40-50 meter also. And this is a very, very good solution for the industry, which is working really well for high volume, low space kind of requirement. Uh, then drones for inventory management. This is latest which is happening, where drones fitted with barcode reader and RFID scanners are actually able to scan the entire warehouse, which used to take 5 days or 6 days or a week to uh, take the stock of the inventory to just an hour. And the fleet of robots actually go into the warehouse, and they are able to scan the inventory in 1 hour, and the accuracy level is 99.9%. Swarm robotics, again, this is something which has been Sachin has spoken about, that this is again a system wherein the a kind of a AGV is used to move the batches to the different area. And then IoT enabled sensors are there, which not just take care of the stock, but also on the fire, temperature, and lighting and other things needed for the warehouse. IoT enabled sensors and also equipments are helping to connect the picking arrangement or a MHE which is being used in the warehouse, whether it is autonomous or manual driven, and the other equipments which are used to connect together and then give the solution to them. Then there
Yeah.
are there are this is I think Sachin, you would like to add on to this slide.
Yeah. See, definitely.
Robert, yeah,
Yeah, definitely. So what I mentioned is that the next decade is going to a dramatic change in the warehouse automation sector, and not only the traditional automation, that what we call as what you shown, the ASRS storage automation for pallets, storage
yeah,
automation for
yeah,
goods, or ports is coming faster in picture, and customer is analyzing these kind of requirements for their future growths. And there are solutions in ASRS that will require an efficient AI-based data management system, which need to be networked with the customer's ERP, whether it is SAP or Oracle or customer's own ERP, that will show and reflect the real-time activities and the future trends, or we can say the prospects of next
Ab-
hour delivery to next week's delivery. So that is very much important, and customer will focus on how much he can reduce down the wastages and the other unnecessary activities. So going forward, as you rightly mentioned, AGVs and drone technology and AMR will be the future for warehousing automation sector. And slowly we
Yeah,
have witnessed in this decade before 2024 that many of the customer have taken trials or pilot projects for that kind of industries. Like for coming to again e-commerce industry, the big names in e-commerce, Flipkart and Amazon have already taken good trials of AMRs and the other related automation technologies. Coming towards AGV, we have witnessed that many type of customer in fast moving industry like paint and tire and other FMCG industry are taking pilot projects for AGVs, which will be the future. And coming towards drone, which is not so much popular right now, but in coming 2 3 years, it will take place. And I'm sure that in tall warehouses and remote warehouses where you will face labor issues and other issues, drone will play an important role for optimizing the necessary requirement like monitoring, inventory management, and maintenance part will be taken care by technology. And the important thing is that all this drone, AMR will be connected to the central network, and the real-time data collection will happen. And in between that, IoT-based sensors will take the data and it will get processed, and all required information and forecasting can be done, and it will be easy for the customers to monitor and operate the warehouses efficiently. So it is going to
yeah,
happen, and why it will happen? Because there is a greater increased efficiency. What we can see, the projected increased efficiency by offering this kind of drone technology and AMR and AGV in the warehouses. Then you can see the better enhanced safety. As of today,
absolutely.
we can see that safety is lagging in many places because many reasons will be there. But by
Yeah,
using the automation technologies, you can improve the safety. Then the third point is that improved accuracy and inventory management, which is 100% achievable by using this kind of technology. And the last point will be the increased flexibility and adaptability. So as your warehouse
yeah.
design change, layout change, definitely drone or AGV can be modified or the route can be modified and optimized as per the warehouse layouts and the needs. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Sachin. Thank you so much. I think there is a lot happening. Let me, in the space of drones and AGVs, uh, and I can see the warehousing space is adapting to drone much faster in overseas than in India. I think uh, if you can help me to understand uh, how much adoption has happened in of drones and AGVs, and how this in fast changing environment in material handling space is being changed because of drones and AGVs adoption. Vipul, you've been working in North America and South America
Mm-hmm.
with the retailers and the 3G, the 3PL partners. How do you see the landscape changing over there versus what is happening in India?
Okay. So, Amit, in the West, we have a totally different demographics. We have people, especially after COVID, people are more. more adopting to these technologies, whether it's AGVs, more unified solutions in terms of like, when I say AGVs, it's there is a different AGV for different purpose, as Sachin has explained, right? You have
Yeah.
ASRS for your unit picking, each picking, or you have shuttle systems for moving the pallets, storing the pallets in a production facility or production motherships. So yeah, the trend has been really good, and people seeing the adoption. The customers are very pragmatic from the fact that what they are bringing in, the value that we go in. That's the most important thing. That what value that we are bringing in to adopt that technology. So yeah, drones, AGVs are one. Drones are slowly picking up, but yeah, use cases for the drones have been minimal, right? Because you drones have been very fruitful in audit and cycle counts, where
Yeah.
you can easily cycle count, as you rightly mentioned, within an hour the complete VNAs
Yeah.
have been cycled out in an hour. So that's been a real good use cases that we have seen in the West.
Hmm.
But when it comes to deliveries, moving things around it, yes, drones have making payment, but it's slow versus the
It's slow,
AGVs
right?
and AMRs that we are talking about in India. So about the AGVs and AMRs that we talk about, it is much more faster adoption. And what customers are also looking at is what is the lead time to adopt the whole technology. You know, that's the flexibility. Some of these installations may take a longer time, like 2 3 years. Some may come in years. So it's also the go-to market, and the effectiveness of that automated node inside the warehouse is very important. Inside the warehouse as well as into the network is very important. So that's
Absolutely.
where you see a lot of adoption. Like earlier this year, and not earlier this year, but earlier this decade, you see a lot of adoption of go to follow me robots, because that's more greenfield robots in the industry. Then we have seen a lot of AGV in intralogistics follow me people with different weight profile. Like
Yeah.
we are doing projects with the companies who are moving their liquids, paints, and everything into just moving and putting it onto the robot, and robot is delivering to the next locations. So instead of
Yeah.
person moving, the robot doing the walking. So that's being very much adopted. And I see in India also post COVID the adoption, and there is a lot of inclination to adopt these technologies, despite the inherent capex that we have to do, despite the challenges of the business case being penciled because of the labor rates in India and optimize. But we still see this because everyone, it's not, general notion is that we're losing jobs. It's not that we are losing job. We are upskilling or up leveling the people over there. So
Absolutely.
that is where we see the inclination. Yes, it is a adoption, right? We really need lot of innovators inside innovator organization who are prone to innovation in the geographies, which is happening now. You see the Reliance stores, for example. Reliance high-end stores is now becoming completely automated. You order on site online, and you just pick up, you just do this. So they have coming with these stores. Other You have Decathlon having an automated and fitting store. So all these kind of automations are coming in the retail industry, and especially in apparel industry I see this much more happening.
Absolutely. I agree with you. I think the
I need to add
if
one point. Yeah,
yes,
Abid, I need to add one point with two examples. It's very good that Vibhor has given these insights. Thank you, Vibhor. So, the pharmaceutical industry have stringent regulations where they have
absolutely.
to keep their warehouses upskill and neat and clean, and also to the mark as per the standards required. So in that case, every month or as per their duration, they have to observe each and every pockets Pockets means the pallet position or location where the article has been kept. So in that case, once I have observed that a team of labor is climbing on the racks, cleaning the racks, observing any other part is there or any other nets or any other things. And it is a regular practice for pharma industry. And also in food industry, I have observed that many type of food products are under scrutiny for not to make them stale or damage from their property.
Yeah.
And some of the products are getting damaged due to their physical property or the internal property of that product, and
Product.
the
Yeah.
position may change, the height may change accordingly. So during that
Yeah.
they have to monitor it regularly. So in that case drone is going to help, because we have discussed this point with many customers that what is the solution for that, because labor is not going to climb in future, he will not take the risk, and he it is a
Right.
different kind of work. So drone is going to take
Right.
place in that case. And for AGV, I have another example where you have, if you have repeated picks and drops from A to B, B to C, and A to D, something like that, definitely labor will not do that regularly. There are breaks and other things, but if you can use AGVs in that place, definitely like paint industry, tire industry, or food industry, they will be the best customers to use AGV, because by using AGV, they are drastically improving their efficiencies. Yeah,
No.
thank you.
Absolutely.
So
We
let me
had
just
issues.
summarize. Sorry, Vibhor, you were saying something.
No, yeah, please go. No, please go ahead.
Okay. So just for the summarizing thing, I think e-commerce is a different animal altogether versus the bulk
Yes,
storage of the product. Like I think these are the two basic divisions that we need to understand. And there are different solutions for e-commerce versus the bulk storage, right? And
absolutely.
when we talk about bulk storage, it can be a chemical, it can be a food industry, it can be a tire, it can be a apparel, garment, anything can be there in that, right? Now it is important that how AGVs have evolved over last 10 years. There used to be a time when AGV was used for inter warehouse transfer also. Now, what we have seen because of the AI and other precision of sensors have been added, there has been a added advantage of using AGVs, and we've seen that AGVs over a period of time has almost minimized the people. If they are using AGVs in the warehouse, it has minimized the people uh, uh, involvement in either putting or retrieving the material from the warehouse, and it is quite precise and accurate also when it comes, because it is properly mapped in a right way. But definitely what you mentioned, drone has to see the light in coming days, because it is being tested at the moment. There in the west we can see adoption is happening, like companies like Amazon Robotics is trying in one or two warehouses, those kind of things. But if it comes to India, I would say we would need another 2 years time, 2 to 3 years time to actually see the practical use of robots and drones in reality in the warehouses. But if you ask me what are the advantages of drones, then definitely efficiency is one important thing, because you are able to map the entire warehouse properly, and then you can be much more efficient than what is humanly possible. Uh, AGVs can do precise job much faster without any latency in kind of which may happen in the human side. There can be, I think, both the things put together, and they are able to synchronize to give a solution. It is going to be the future. May not be now in India, but definitely 2 years. I would say. What do you say about it? 2 to 3 years in India
Sorry.
or more?
I
Yeah, you can say that.
I would say it's another 3 years that we'd see a much more adoption with the
Yeah,
economies of scale coming in India. especially in the manufacturing industry, because with so much push in the manufacturing that we are become trying to become a global hub, we definitely need to adopt these technology, so that our qualities, focus would be more on quality and precision. So, and we have seen
Absolutely, absolutely.
AGVs being adopted not in all industries. Even we had use cases where we have used the AGVs to collect, for these all these luxury cars, to collect it, deliver their
Yeah,
all
vertical
components
vertical
together
parking
as a one
also.
package. Yeah, and package. Yeah. And now, yeah, you're
Yeah,
absolutely right. Parking is the one key,
parking
especially in these
is
horizontal.
adopted. Daily, you can see a lot
Yeah,
of parking
exactly.
spaces being converted to robotic parking. So it picks the car
Absolutely.
and puts it in the particular slot. I think
Yeah.
So
I would,
one more thing is also picking like deliveries for
yeah,
customers, like e-commerce deliveries are also taking place by using drone and AMR technologies. So that is all on trial basis, but definitely it will take a good shape in another couple of years to 4 years of time.
Yeah.
absolutely. I think I think we think it'll take 4 years, but imagine nobody has thought that ChatGPT will come and then change the entire scenario by itself. So we don't know what
Yep.
new revolution will come, and then in next 18 months you will see a different kind of a warehouse just coming up altogether. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I think, but there is a softer angle we'll be touching on. The softer side of it is of the adoption. So let me summarize this. Like, if I can say, from a chaos to choreography, drones and AGVs are redefining warehouse efficiency. Am I right to say that?
Yeah,
Yes.
you can
Okay.
say that. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So I think moving on to the next topic, which is next question, which is very relevant, because we talk about automation, we talk about highly automized warehouse. What about what are the primary drivers of adopting automation in the warehouse? Is it the cost, operational efficiency, or meeting customer demands with speed? What do you think is helping or adoption of automation in the warehousing space? Sachin, this question is to you first, and then to Vibhor.
Sure, absolutely. This is very important before going in warehousing automation. What we have experienced with customer is that they are not very much easily adaptable for these kind of technologies because there are multiple factors to decide. So majorly their pain points and their issues are different. We need to understand. As I rightly mentioned some time back that every industry have their own issues and pain points. So,
Yeah,
like in FMCG and food industry or e-commerce industry, they have their own different issues and problems. So, before going in warehousing automation solution, customer is happy to go with discussion with multiple technological players, and the technological players' role is to understand their actual and real pain points, which is very important. So, adaptability, what is happening at the end when we come on conclusion before giving any solution or deciding on any solution, customers major factors are like cost reduction. So cost reduction happens not only in developing some strategy inside strategy or increasing labor force or decreasing some type of repeated actions. It is a
absolutely.
factor of labor cost, first of all. So labor is the
Mhm.
major factor where you have to consider its upgradation and continuous training to them. So
Right,
if adopting this kind of technology, we have to see that labor cost to be reduced, then reduce errors, which is bound to happen when we use the manual process. So when
absolutely.
we are bound to reduce the errors, definitely automation will take place where no errors are acceptable, 100% accuracy is acceptable, 100% proven technologies need to be adopted. And the third most important thing in cost reduction will be the space reduction, space cost reduction, space optimization, rather we can say that. In earlier stages,
Yeah.
in the first decade, what I mentioned, 2000 to 2014, the space was not the constraint. Horizontal space was bigger. There was no thought that I should use this space for better optimization. So they use larger horizontal spaces than the vertical space. But since 2014 to 2024, we observe that tall warehouses above 15-meter to 30-meter have been taken place, and many tall warehouses equipped with modern ASRS solutions and modern
Yeah.
identification technologies have taken place.
Warehouse
The
management
next
system
decade,
also.
yes, yes, and the next decade from 25 onwards will take more optimized space utilization. It will be a small blocks, small square with taller heights, optimized height we can
Yeah.
say, not the taller, optimized height
Yeah.
with better technologies adopting AI,
Yeah.
IoTs will be important. Then the second thing is that operational efficiency, where regular work, repeated work, and the cost involved into it have to be observed and reduced to a optimum level. So in this
Absolutely.
kind of technology where customer is more happy to adopt more kind of nice technologies which will help them to reduce the operational efficiency, increase the operational efficiency, and more of the work, customer will demand improved accuracy in terms of movements, in terms of storage, in terms of the deliveries to the end customer. Then
So
important point will be the
maybe,
meeting customer demand,
let
as you
me,
mentioned, the third point.
yeah,
Yeah,
Vipul, why don't you add a few more points that you have related to this
No,
question?
actually, yeah. So, no, it is definitely the synergy of all the aspects, right? It is not about you can solve one problem. We have to see what is the rationale of having this thing, right? You want to increase the efficiency of the warehouse because you cannot invest into another warehouse. Having another warehouse setting up, it leads a lot of changes. So definitely this is a synergy of all three. I mean, the points that you mentioned and the end problem that we want to say. The end problem is generally the scalability, and we talked about in the adoption care. It is the scalability and efficiency that we are talking about, and also in the era of same day deliveries and now 15 minutes, 10 minutes delivery, it is very important that we get to that efficient state, and that is the primary drivers. Now cost
Yes.
efficiency, the important factor which I see why any retailer, be it west or be it India, why any retailer would go is the pilferage. There's a lot of damage, a lot of accuracy problems, with
Errors.
more touch points, errors.
Yeah.
That goes away. I mean, we have been doing automations for a solution for our customers, and one thing that everyone comes up with is, you know, everything said and done, we have never got such a nice or high inventory accuracy with any of these solutions. I mean, not just that's
Yeah.
what the end results comes out to be, or the success factor come out to be. Then
Absolutely.
with the same storage, how we can improve the per square feet storage for this thing, as Sachin mentioned, yeah, now the space is becoming constrained. The world is becoming smaller, population going up, vertical up, and the important point from the adoption that I'll add is the time to from the conceptualization to go live. That is very important because that leads to your business cases, how your business cases will pencil it. Because how the sooner you take advantages of your cost per unit, reduce cost per unit, better
The better it
would
is.
be your
Yeah.
capex justified.
Absolutely. No,
Yeah.
I think obviously the cost drivers and operational efficiencies are the main key areas, but the
yeah,
speed is what is leading the way forward for such kind of adoption. Because 15, I can see business going improving and customers are happy with 15 minute delivery because you don't know what is missing in your home, and you just want to pick up an app and then order the product. and it has to be delivered from a micro warehouse, right? Now,
Yeah.
from those micro warehouse, it's only about the speed, and feeding those micro warehouse from the main warehouse is also a big challenge which has been addressed and optimized day by day. One more important thing what we have seen is like especially on the bulk packaging, it's a custom like a lot of overseas buyers come to India to see what kind of facilities people have for their product, and when they come in, they see these automated warehouses with advanced technology to uh, furnish the requirement of the overseas customers. They feel that this is a better supplier than the person who's still using the old outdated technology. So that also is a competitive edge that it gives the modern technology to that. And obviously the future ready warehouses is something which people are looking for. People are looking for adopting a technology which can sustain them for next 10 years of growth of the business, rather than something which will stop the growth or hold the growth because of complication within fetching and putting and dispatching the commodity or the product that we are looking for. I think. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, Amit, spot on this one. Because I just want to add one point here. We have
Yeah,
seen use cases where, and customers where they have gone into the packaging automation first than any other automation, because that's where it's super quick and gives you a better freight efficiency and lot of
absolutely.
less wastage.
No, absolutely. I
I
think uh, one more important thing which comes up over here is I can have an automation, I can automate my warehouse, but who's going to handle it? What kind of a learning curve, or how do I upgrade my current workforce to adapt to that kind of a technology? I think Vibhur, because since you worked in advanced countries and you know the challenge of learning curve for the operators and upskilling of the operators, where do you see the gap, and how do you think that gap can be bridged when we adapt such technologies in our companies?
So trust me, I mean this question is very close to my heart because being a product professional and the adoption is the key for our customers. So one thing that I'll say is any automation, you can bring in the technology and everything. First thing it is has to be very easy to use. You should not, I mean, as easy as using a mobile phone today, right? Very similar interface, everything, no jazz around. You can use the mobile phone. So that is where I see, the systems to be very easy to adopt from a usability point of view, because our associates are, barely graduates. They are just a regular street smart
Not
people
even graduate, yeah,
who, yeah,
yeah,
not even graduates. They're just a street smart people who have managed to their way out, whether it's India, whether it's
yeah,
US or West, it's the same thing. So that's one thing. So you have to have a product or a solution which is less time consuming in your training, because more you train,
yeah.
more you do. Like our challenges that we have always get into, that it should I should have a associate ready for my peak in 4 hours, right? For the Black Friday sales and everything. So that's how I
Absolutely.
see it on the usability point of view. But if you look at the overall scaling, who runs the warehouses, I think having an actionable data analysis and a basic knowledge of how you operate the computer and machines is the key thing. Looking at the data and analyzing that, okay, what next to be done, what are the actions to be taken, that is where it is the
Yeah,
key for a successful adoption of any automation. Because you can see the dashboards and get the error, even it's a agv is moving around, complete field
right.
fleet, or a conveyor based automations as well. You know where the slowness is. So those database, I think that's a key thing. And
No, right,
when
you're
the
absolutely right.
warehouses are now converting into the more of a factory based thing where one AGV transferring to another and then taking the conveyor taking over to this thing, it is even more important that we track each and every step of things. So that's where I see the upskilling of the existing warehousing professionals needs to be done, uh, mm, to adopt these
Okay.
kind of technologies. At the same time, while design of these solutions, it is very important that these people contribute to it, because the warehousing, the
And
field
getting
knowledge that
user friendliness,
not just user friendliness when
user
you're
friendliness
designing,
of the
right?
solution.
Yeah, when you're designing the processes with these automations, the sometimes when you're designing right in the what we call as a AC offices, we don't understand what kind of you
On the
know
floor. Yeah,
things on alternates that they are using to make them efficient, because they're
yeah,
so we need to involve them, and we have gone into this multiple cycles, and always been benefited, you know understanding the operations outlook towards the solutions. So
yeah,
with that, they feel more inclusive into this, and this is, but yeah, that's from the skills point of view.
yeah. So, Sachin, I think you have a lot of practical experience of handling such situations where people are there and you get the people what is available in the warehouse in the old one, and then you have to upgrade that to the new one, right? How do
Right.
you handle that situation, and what kind of a challenges that you have practically faced on the ground?
See, normally what happened as connecting to the question what you asked and related to what you asked just now to me. So before deciding any factor of warehousing automation and how these organizations are handling a learning curve of integrating with automation, definitely this is going to be very important before deciding any technology or solution. So first thing what I have observed is that a well customer will go a thorough planning and for the pilot programs. This is very important. So in that case, what they will do, they will thoroughly plan their processes. They will improve the processes. As Vibhor rightly mentioned, they will change the packaging size and other material and other thing to optimize it and move it neatly without damaging it. So that process they have to follow. Then again they have to refine the processes smoothly. They have to remove the unwanted process, duplicating processes, unwanted movements, unwanted shifts and other things. And accordingly there will be a lots of data collection previous years as well as the projections, and according to that they have to come on
Mhm.
conclusion that what they want exactly, what will be the major pain points and the issues they are going to face, and accordingly they have to come on a pilot program. The pilot program will be with the technology solution provider or with the technical consultants, and they will come together and decide about what to adopt and when to adopt and how to adopt. These are the three questions when
Hmm.
they will ask to each other. They accordingly, if the technology is selected that is not fully implemented in all warehouses, that will be implemented in the pilot as a pilot case on a smaller scale. And if it gets success, then definitely they can go in a wider scale or they can make it scalable or modular according to it. The second factor, the learning curve will be the employee training and development, which is truly important in all aspects. Every month, every 6 months, every year, they have to take a review of employee or the labor which is working in the warehouses, and they have to observe that their labor are of that skill, and they have to monitor the labor's training. They have to make the tie-ups with some educational institutes or the training institutes for that, and also they have to monitor that whether everything is in safety aspects. These three are very important. Then the integration is the last factor, where integration with the current SAP or current ERP is important, and
Hmm.
integration with the current supply chain management model where the logistics will come in picture, their handling will come in picture. It has to be integrated neatly. So it's a big task, of course. It's not easy to just follow their competitors' warehouse automation model. So every company have their own aspects. Like for example, in food industry, two different companies have different issues, regional issues,
Yeah.
local
So
issues, supply chain
cultural
issues.
issues.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Regional.
definitely it's a big task and thoroughly they have to plan it neatly before going in
No,
automation.
absolutely. I think Sachin, you rightly mentioned about it. Uh, uh, let me summarize it. I think definitely we are looking at pilot project. That is one suggestion that has come out. It is also important that we may phase the implementation process. As the people learn, we keep on adding things into it. Not just go one shot everything. That may not work, and it might become a failure. Training programs are important. I think comprehensive training
Right.
programs which are needed for the things to happen. Upskilling of workers, which Vibhor mentioned, because you cannot just ask people or change the people. You will not get the right people
Absolutely.
also, because they need to know the product
Absolutely.
as well, right? Right. So it is important that how do we upskill those workers to adapt to the new technology and new solutions, because that solution will help them to perform better and be more efficient, right?
Right.
And obviously
Right.
there has to be, whenever whatever solution you are choosing, you need to have a vendor which is able to give you a dedicated support. That is also important, because you never know at 11th hour in the night what will happen, right? And you would need
Yeah.
a solution now, because there might be a lorry which is waiting for the product to go, or there might
Yes.
be a situation which needs to be immediately sorted out. I think these are some of the things, but it is I think the adapting these technology is like teaching your teaching your grandparents how to use a smartphone, which we would mention, and
Absolutely.
having a
Absolutely.
patience of, and training them and handholding them during the process will definitely take them to a long way, right?
Absolutely, Amit. Yes.
And Amit has
Okay.
one last point, that it has to be top down inclusive, right? The
Top
leadership
down
needs
include, yeah.
to, yeah, leadership needs to, wherever it is, leadership needs to be very inclusive in this and set the, you know, vision right, that this is the future
Absolutely.
and we are adopting it, because else there will be always been, frictions among different departments and different things. So leaderships setting the tone is very important in the adopting these strategic projects, because this is a paradigm shift of what anyone would be doing.
Absolutely.
No, absolutely. I, yeah, we've got, we are, I think we will overshoot a little bit on our time, maybe a 10 minutes extra. But I think this is an important topic that we are talking about. And it is something which not many people are openly talking about it in public, but it's happening in closed room discussion, that this is what is needed and this is what, but we have experts over here, and that's why we are sharing information which is hardly available to for the general public. Let me move to the next one. What unique challenges do emerge when we are adapting warehouse automation? How do they overcome those barriers? It can be initial investment, it can be anything. Sachin, why don't you add value to this? Because obviously, I wish to have a best of the solution. Can I afford it? Can I? Is there a ROI in that? How do you answer those kind of solution challenges that are coming up when we are adapting to these kind of solutions? Sachin, over to you.
Yeah, sure. This is very important that as we discussed last point, and adaptability of the technologies is challenging. You have to thoroughly work on that. And apart from that, if you adopt that technologies, continuation of that technology to run is also a difficult task. And for that, there are multiple things that companies has to do regularly. The first thing what I will point out is the technical skills training. Likewise, the
yeah,
robotic and AI-based technologies will take place. That definitely you have to give them training regularly. Otherwise, what will happen? They will forget and they will do the repeated works once again. And the actual benefits or actual features of that technology will not be utilized, will not be used. And this kind of technical trainings, we need to monitor it regularly. And for that reason, you have to train your leaders. And that, again, Vibor has mentioned rightly that you have to involve from the top management to the bottom management.
yeah,
So that technical
absolutely.
training will be play an important role to run warehouse automation successfully. Then the second thing is that equipment operation and maintenance part. That equipment what we have installed in the warehouses will surely require lots of maintenance. So for that reason, as it is going to be a high-end technology, so your labor should be well trained and well equipped with the tools and knowledge how to maintain that in time and at the intervals, regular intervals. The third point will be the data analysis, where your software team or IT team will play an important role. You have to upskill yourself with all the dotted points connected between the factories and warehouses, where data collection, data management, and observation will play an important role. And software proficiency among the all working people inside the warehouse and outside the warehouse will be important. Second important factor which we should not neglect is the soft skill development, where I will highlight on communication and team network, team player as a team player,
Okay,
where we
okay,
should not get isolated between the technologies. Everyone contributing to warehouse automation need to be a team player. He has to report and monitor everything what is happening. Otherwise, what will happen if we are in silos and in isolated? Definitely, there will be a gap, and no one will know what is going to happen and what is going to be unwanted predictions. And
yeah,
second thing is that educational partnership between the technology provider and the companies is important, rather than going just with the AMCs and service contracts.
yeah,
You need to contract them for educational upgradation training to everyone.
absolutely,
This
absolutely.
factor will be very important. What I say.
So, yeah, I think very well summarized, Sachin, that upgradation, like skill upgradation, is definitely the key driver for uh,
Yeah.
uh, adoption of the technology. That is one major area. Obviously, there are other software partner, right selection of software partner who can actually look after the things. Vipul, what additional point that you would like to add onto this?
From the, I think, skills point of view, I think we are pretty much covered. These are the important pieces that we are looking at from a skills point of view. But I'll take a step back in, adopting this technology. What is the,
Correct. Yeah.
general friction of how, you know, these these you know as you rightly mentioned, you discuss that we need it, but it never converts, goes to
Hmm.
reality.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that is where, I personally think that important is getting more, well versed and being iterative in our approach, where, you can run the proof of concepts, you can be very phased pieces that you're running, like not starting with a full fleet but a one fleet, two fleet, so people get more adapt to it. There are people, when these things move around, people are not very comfortable. Despite that, people would be comfortable moving the forklifts around. So that's
Yeah.
this upscale. Then the proficiency, the reluctance. It's a slow. It's a slow process and patient wise. That's where it is. But it's very important that we track things to our business cases. Stitch it
Yeah.
back
Right.
like loop. That what was our savings? Where are we? Moving further on this one. And yeah, training is very important piece. Running the clear training, continuous feedbacks, uh, and not just the feedbacks, but also giving that continuous feedbacks to associates, but also to the solution provider is important, because not one size don't fit all. That is where the challenge comes in. So with different
Absolutely.
industries, yeah. So that is what I just wanted to add on this one. It's a feedback loop that needs to go on continuously with
Yeah,
the
I think
associates.
Yeah, I think thank you very much, Vibhur. I think how these technology can be adopted in an emerging market, that is
Mhm.
also a challenge, because uh, if we talk about developed countries, the cost of labor is quite high, so it justifies the cost over there than in India over here. And when we talk about emerging market like India, adoption of these technology definitely one major hurdle is the cost, initial cost, versus if we engage one more additional person, what will cost me, what it will cost me. So obviously,
Absolutely.
and most of the time, the lever goes towards the additional worker rather than adoption of a latest technology, because money is spent today, not in the future. But
And
but there has
in
been
this,
there has been definitely a government subsidies and support in, and people should refer to the industrial policy of the particular sector, where each state government in India is actually promoting automated warehousing and the technology adoption, and they are subsidizing through a capital subsidy or through interest subsidy, which is available for to offset the high cost of adoption in the emerging market. I think that is one which is the major thing that is happening.
yeah,
Uh,
and to
I think
add to it, I think we need to be creative enough. These subsidies are good to get the initial runway, and but we need to be creative enough to identify opportunities outside the four walls of the warehouse,
absolutely,
like
absolutely,
streamlining your downstream supply chain, streamlining your freight management and everything. We have customers from South America, which is relatively emerging markets, where the business case was not inside the warehouse. The business case was from the stores, where they have shrink their stores sortation area, which is a premium retail space, and they were had a major savings for that because of the kind of solutions that they've adopted. The route optimizations, because the way you are filling in your trucks through the AGVs is help them saving the fuel cost. So those
absolutely.
are the and then less touch points in the downstreams, like party packaging, right from the different zones in India, especially. We do north zone, and then from zone to district to the versus the
Yeah,
orders are actually packed there, and then you straight away deliver it to the end
customer.
shop or end customer.
Yeah,
Those are the
yeah,
avenues that we also need to see in addition to the things. And because in India or in any other emerging markets, the labor capex versus labor will always be the juggle that we need to solve, and
absolutely.
these things help achieving the automation for the long run.
Right, right. So let me, I think we are already over time. Let me just close it with the last question. And this question is going to come to Sachin. Uh, how automation in warehouse impact downstream operations such as last mile delivery? What synergies can be achieved while doing that? Sachin,
Yeah,
quickly, 1 minute, 1.5 minute answer.
definitely. I will
Yeah,
quickly mention this one or two or 3 points maximum.
yeah,
See,
please.
definitely warehouse automation significantly impacts downstream operations, particularly last mile deliveries. The enhanced order fulfillment accuracy is very much important. And the second one will be the improved order visibility is important, as we are observing in e-commerce and quick commerce industry. And also in food industry, where I have mentioned two categories. Second one, the increased throughput will be very important. Then optimized order routing is important. Like in some orders, we will get from two different stores or two different virtual warehouses. That is also possible,
Hmm.
and that is going to happen because every decentralized warehouse cannot keep everything. So this is going to happen, and we have to do the better demand forecasting for the customer and the region wise, and integration between the delivery points and with the customer demands is very much important. This is my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Vibhu, what do you think how the, automation will help in downstream operations and the last mile delivery?
I think it's the same. I would repeat the same thing that, once you have the automation coming in, it definitely streamlines your deliveries, because you can do with data in hand, you can do a lot more predictive analysis of which freights to do, what freights to manage. You can like one of our customers were doing. Originally they were doing all routes, but based on the data they were just shrink the routes. Like Sunday is one route, Monday is one route, and still able to deliver on time deliveries. And then better inventory management and the placing of the SKUs is what is more I see when we look at virtual warehouses in general, that where and what needs to be there, as we're talking about, from the mothership to the warehouses at just around the corner. It needs to be there,
Yeah.
and I see this becomes more cost effective. I mean, that's how I see
No.
the overall. It's not just the four walls, but the overall network becomes more cost effective.
So just endorse me whatever I'm trying to explain. Is fast delivery possible without automation? 15 minutes delivery possible without automation? No. So it really
No.
helps in fast delivery, right? Is real-time inventory, because you can see thousands and thousands and lakhs of inventory items are there in the warehouse. Is it humanly possible to track and update that inventory humanly every month, every week, whatever is the company? Is it possible?
Yeah. No,
No,
Not possible.
no,
not possible.
right?
It will consume lot of things.
Lot of time. I let me share. I belong to textile, and if I have to get one fabric roll from one warehouse in a traditional way, they will still stored in the warehouse. They will take 1.5 to 2 days to fetch that roll and deliver it to the truck, because that role might be hidden somewhere inside, which is not traceable, trackable, or five roles are there, one role is still missing, and those kind of scenarios are there in the industry. And we need to understand that things are evolved from where it used to be that time to now, where everything is traceable, everything is quickly retrievable, and how e-commerce companies are able to do that. Similarly, the bulk storage companies, the bulk storage, be it a tire, FMCG, or textile or anything, it would need to adapt the same kind of technologies in going forward, right? Last
Yeah.
last word from Sachin from your side. What do you want to add to the discussion?
Of course, I will add that next decade will be very important for warehousing automation, and definitely customer are choosy, and if they should not be only greedy, they should go in detail. They should thoroughly work on their planning and processes, and adopt better technology for their requirement, because as per customers need, every industry have different requirements. So definitely there is a brighter future for our warehousing automation, and lots of solutions are available. So don't rely only on particular technology. Go thoroughly, understand your requirement, see your processes, develop the processes, and adopt the technology. Future is
Yeah, thank
yours.
you so much. Thank you, Sachin.
Thank you.
Vibhor, over
Thank
to
you so
you.
much.
I think yes, that this there will be definitely growth in this industry and adoption from all industries, and you definitely being more pragmatic on what needs to be there, but at the same time we need innovators, who would not just worry about uh, for immediate benefits, but an ROI of 3 to 4 years. That is where, but overall, yes, the future lies in the automation and upskilling because of people. That is where I'll you know stop and stable this discussion that we, this
So I
is
think,
the time that we have to start moving fast to not
yeah,
just compete internally in our geography, but compete with the rest of the world.
absolutely. I think if you want to be ahead of your competition, you need to be fast, you need to adopt, and you need to upskill people. I think these are three guru mantras that I would like to summarize at the end of it. That any automation, be it warehouse, be it machinery, be it anything, it is it is the need of an hour. People were cheap earlier, but people are not cheap and not available, right? Trained manpower
Right.
is scarce, right? And if you train somebody within 3 months, that person goes, then you are sitting and thinking who will do this job. So it's not. So it's better to adopt a technology which is a futuristic technology, upgrade yourself, and ensure that you are able to service your customer in much better way than what you are doing at the moment. And I think we three of us collective around good 55, 60 years of experience in the industry would
Yeah.
definitely uh, we could contribute to the discussion and help our viewers to understand that how warehousing technology is evolving over the next decade, and we are happy to support you in any kind of interventions or anything that you see where you would need a hand holding hand, and we will be more than happy to support in your initiative or any kind of a discussion that you have. I thank
Sure.
you, all the panelists, Mr. Sachin and Mr. Vibhur, for taking out time and discussing openly, wholeheartedly about what is the challenge that industry is facing and how people can adopt the latest technology into their operations of the product they are dealing in. Thank you so much for
Thank you. Pleasure.
to the viewers for spending time on this, and I hope that everybody liked what discussion we had, and happy to connect offline for any kind of a discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Vibhor.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.